En algún momento de nuestras vidas todos deseamos sobresalir de el resto de la multitud, aunque sea en nuestra manera. Algunos vayan por el ruta extrema buscando fama y fortuna y no muchos la encuentran. Pasa tiempo en el que muchos, como yo, lucamos, lamentablemente few en esta lucha. Que termin pidiendo a la persona equivocada que se uniera a mí. Estoy haciendo un grupo para videos y esas cosas. ¿Quieres ayudarme?
Isyo.
Yo.
やはりいなくないじゃない。
Toza no koto. Inakunai janai.
いやいやいや、いなくければいないよ。
Inakuna karo binakunakunai janai dro. Nakunai dakara.
どういうこと？まあよい。準備して、今から忙しくなる。
I saw.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
And here we finally are. I mean, we had been promising this since, the beginning that brought you guys on. So this has been a long time coming.
Well, we did promise back at 30 or so videos ago to make the Otaku show. Just as well that we put this off till now. The channel has become more lively.
Yeah, the sad thing is even though we have quite a few videos under our belt now, and let's say actually pretty good at them. You know, like I think we've improved upon how we used to make these videos. But even with that, you know, we're still the only two weebs. So, I mean, give or take the videos, the only thing that's going to improve is the quality because you still have the same hosts, whether you like it or not.
Well, welcome everyone to the Otaku Show, where we will probably be discussing news and opinions on topics you don't care about. I hope you are ready to start jumping through this video to find something interesting for your normie brain. Or you can just hit the YouTube home button. Go on, do it. Do it. Make my day.
Are you doing a Clint Eastwood reference? What's... Okay.
I like my westerns and Clint Eastwood is so very hot.
Well, yeah, we all know that. I mean, I like my Tim Curry movies too, but you don't hear me making references. But, okay, I actually did now that I'm thinking about it.
Did you know there is a Japanese figurine of the anime equivalent to Pennywise, but to me they kind of gave up great potential. They could have made it super creepy rake-like creature, but it is just some small anime girl with a balloon and clown suit.
But just a clown suit? What, are we talking like Clown Piece, or are we talking Ronald McDonald? Like,
well, it mostly resembles Pennywise. I know, right?
Okay.
I do like the Japanese Ronald, though. I'd hug him any day.
Well, okay, I will give you this. The Japanese commercials with him are certainly less pedo feeling than the old American ones.
You would hug him then. He's got another arm, so we could all do it together.
Now, I'm afraid the clowns is... You can stick with that one. Like, if we're talking the Mickey D's, I gotta do Grimace.
Wait, are we opening this to the wide world of mascots? You sound like you have a specific one in mind. Is it one of the banana splits? I would hug that stupid-looking elephant.
Well, actually, this is my dream. So, I'm sitting at a table, right? I got with me, like, this glass of fruit punch or something. And all of a sudden, bursting through the wall comes the Kool-Aid Man. And he's like, oh, yeah! and then I go
hug the Kool-Aid Man.
Oh, yeah. Like, the Kool-Aid Man is
I
very
don't think
huggable.
It could be done without getting drenched, but whatever. Oh, I got one. That gourd thing from Gimme Gimme Octo.
You know, no one besides us has actually seen that show. Why not the Octo?
No, I would be afraid of losing something.
Oh, that's true. You might steal something very important, like your heart. That was a Caliensto reference for those who have never seen that movie.
How about we start the actual news we have now?
Sure, we can get onto the actual news. Okay, let's talk about Gatebox. So, categorically speaking, most of you, if you're watching VTubers like us, you probably already know what Gatebox is and are looking forward to it, already have one. But, I mean, for the oddballs who have never heard this, this is, let's say, how would we best describe this?
It's your dystopian companion to keep you from killing yourself.
Yeah, that's probably a good... So back, what was it, 10 years ago? I think around now. That was around the time Gatebox first started. And the whole concept is very similar to what you hear from, that new Blade Runner movie. If you've not seen that movie, I can't help you. But there's a virtual girl service, more or less. And that sophistication that the AI have and like the companionship that you can have with them, that's kind of what Gatebox wants to do. They want to do something like that that you buy and replace.
You're making this too complicated.
It's for lonely people. It's for lonely people. It's hard to explain. You get to live with an anime girl. That's basically all it is.
Gatebox has really been working hard to make the image appear 3D. They even have a giant version of the Gatebox now.
Yeah, that probably would be very interesting to see. I mean, I don't know how much detail they've actually put into it, but I assume they have to put more than the little models, because the little models you can get away with not having too much resolution to the images, given as small as they are. I mean, it's what, maybe a foot tall at most.
They have really been expanding upon the AI-like interactions with the thing. I mean, their homepage is basically declaring the final goal to be no necessary human interaction once you have this.
That might be possible if they keep adding on to it. They've already got options for you, including the Hackadolls, which is the only place where you can be able to get the Hackadolls now because, they went bankrupt. Sadly. Some of us actually use that service.
And they have actual characters from anime in this thing. It is still a bit limited due to licensing issues, I am sure, but eventually I bet there will be a character from nearly every anime in it.
I mean, it's got Lelouch. What else do you need other than him?
Not everyone is interested in that indie hero. There is definitely going to be more users for the CC version instead.
If they do a CC version, which I'm not against, but if they do, it's gotta come with that cheese mascot. That is seriously huggable.
You go do that, dear, and keep the gay show to yourself.
Well, I mean, for as much as baiting as they do with Lelouch and Suzuki, I thought you would be really into that.
You would think so, right? I just don't like that show. It is stupid and it is so gay.
Don't put too much thought into what she considers, gay. Keep in mind, she says that coffee is as well, so that's a very arbitrary list, in my opinion, at least.
Coffee is gay, what of it? You want to make my day.
No, I want to continue the video.
Very well, let's talk about games.
Tim Curry was in Red Alert 3. Amazing general.
Jet Set Radio is so amazing in Cyberpunk Bomb Rush at some point, I hope.
Rent a Hero was pretty fun. It had a very memorable soundtrack.
Though not really in a good way.
There's Neo Tokyo. Neo Tokyo is a standalone Half-Life 2 mod. It feels very much like a standalone complex, if you get that reference.
The PlayStation 2 game was pretty fun though.
Overall, it was a decent action game, but it was kind of lacking. Cool story, fun to play once.
The PlayStation 1 game was the closest to the manga.
Well,
so what has come out worth talking about?
Next in the Hoyoverse is Zinla Zone. And that should be pretty interesting. It looks like what Soul Worker wanted to be, but it looks like they've actually done it right. So I'm pretty interested in trying that out whenever it comes out.
What Soul Worker?
I was a lackluster Korean MMO.
Oh, Diva is coming out on PC finally. Now you won't need a PlayStation to do everyone's favorite rhythm game.
I mean, while Diva can be fun, I will admit that, I refuse to play it. Simply because they don't have enough good songs on it, and they only use the very generic Vocaloid models. This is a licensed game by Yamaha, so they could potentially put in as many voice banks and as many of the voice bank models as they wish. They just don't. And that annoys me because, you know, Miku is kind of a lackluster voice.
Well, not everyone is a fanatic like you about their voice banks.
I mean, take for instance Yukari, right? If you replace her voice for 90% of the Miku songs, they become better songs. That's all I'm saying.
Honestly, I like my Banana Shota because of his looks, but I do get you. There are better choices to use, and there are over 100 or so Vocaloids to choose.
Yeah, I mean, and when it comes down to it, Vi 1, nothing is going to beat Vi 1 ever. And that is not a opinion you can change. It is an absolute fact that she is the best voice bank ever made.
It's up to preference. Some people might want the cute sound from a
Wait,
voice
she
bank.
can do cute songs, though.
I am talking more along the lines of Otomachi.
Well, sure, but, I mean, Otomachi is done by Ayumi Tanaka. She's the Moe master. You can't do better than her.
Koto Rikoi, why did they make a Vocaloid double voice bank? And that's pretty moe.
Sure. I guess I'm just too used to hearing the Nyampasu from her, so it really doesn't give off the same sound to me. Games, right. Type Moon's putting out a new game. It's one of the visual novels for the Aozaki stories. That should be pretty cool. Like, I'm interested in that, and I'm even more interested with the fact that UFO Table's interested in it. I mean, I'm looking forward to whatever they do with that. I'm a fan of Type Moon, but I'm more a fan of UFO Table.
Type
Any
Moon
one of their
stuff
adaptations.
is always a bit too convoluted for my taste. I prefer visual novels made by Key.
Yeah, because running into the spirit of your comatose girlfriend you forgot existed, and then the stray dog that loves you so much, it somehow became a human with amnesia and hates you now. That's a whole lot less convoluted than Fate.
Oh, shut up. He does good work.
They do sometimes. I mean, I enjoyed Planad. I'll give you that.
There is a Musonic game happening, obviously cloning the Breath of the Wild style.
Honestly, I don't see that working too well. It's possible to make a open world platformer.
Yeah, I have to
but
agree
it's got to be
with
done
you.
right. It needs to be hub levels. You know, something like Sonic Adventure did, rather than trying to make a gigantic map and then somehow have things just scattered through the map like with Breath of the Wild. It works for an action game. Well, there's another farming game being made. It's seemingly a fantasy spin-off by Square Enix. So that should be pretty interesting. You know, I don't know if they're gonna do the whole chocobo ranching and stuff like that, but it seems to be a Final Fantasy
That should be
related
neat.
somehow.
I have
especially
doubts,
with the
but I am
box art.
willing to give it a chance.
Should be interesting. Oh, Showa American Story.
Oh yeah, that does look interesting for another of the many Fall of Civilization survival games. Everyone go take a look at the trailer.
How would I put it? Let's say curious. Like, I've got mixed feelings about it. You really ought to just go watch the trailer yourself. In the end, though, you know, I guess you just go back to the old games that you grew up playing.
Red Alert 3?
I mean, yeah, we need to get a group together to do that. Or some RTS in general. It doesn't have to be Red Alert 3. But if it is, I am definitely being the Soviets. Because Tim Curry.
What about this game?
Okay, that's cool. I mean, I didn't know I had my own game. Is it any fun? Because I've not heard of this until right now.
You are in need of various things through the day and need to go to buy it, and you only have so much money.
Okay, so it's like a city exploration or navigation simulator. That sounds like it could be interesting, I guess.
Let's run to examples. What do you need to buy right now?
Right now, I need clothes.
Well, screw you. You need apples instead.
Okay.
So where do you
I
go
need
to get
apples.
apples?
Let's see. The Apple Store, obviously.
Well, you just lost the game for spending $5,000 on apples and the accessories and adapters they somehow convinced you
This
were
game's hard.
necessary. This time you are going to go to a place that sells them cheap.
And where might be this magical place, as though I didn't already know where we're going.
Supermercados Guanabara.
I wonder how many of these things are around in Brazil.
You have to
You'd
be
think
careful
that,
not to fall for the rip-off stores. If they don't have the golden triangle, keep moving.
If ever I do go to the supermercado, I gotta get the brooms. I want to get, like, say, some kind of,
You putting a gun on these as well.
yeah, I mean, we're talking kids' bikes. I'd put it, like, on, a bike made for a 12-year-old or so, I guess. And, then, you know, I'd go ride around on this little pedal bike with, a mounted machine gun. Hey, look, they got more brooms. Is there that much to sweep?
Must be to shoo away the muggers.
I gotta go to this store. Look at that. They really got Naruto shirts in there.
I didn't think you liked Naruto.
No, I don't at all. But I'll get one. Now that's the kind of thing you want to mount, you know. Okay, so light machine gun's gonna blow that away.
Finally our destination.
And you're right about giant triangles. That triangle is gigantic. What is that? Two or so stories high. Wow, it is busy. Are the apples actually worth getting here? I mean...
Well, of course. It is a super special store with specials galore.
Oh, look, we got Piff Paff on sale! We gotta
Yeah,
go
that's
get
cheap
Piff
for
Paff.
Piff Paff. Look, they even have a mobile bank out in
That's
front of
pretty
the store.
strange, honestly. I mean, they're selling what looks like snacks in the front.
This bank is apparently selling clothes as well, so you got your original request from our supermercado after all.
But, I mean, it's not exactly the kind of clothes that I'd go out of my way to get. But, so far this game's 2 out of 10.
Yes,
So-
it's manga time.
Specifically when it comes to Japanese stories in more recent years, I think one of the big reasons why people get tired of it or don't like it at all is because so much of it is just seen as school anime or school high school related. There's actually a lot of good manga out there and a lot of good Japanese stories that have absolutely nothing to do with high school. So, I mean, if that's your reason for not liking stuff like that, well, here's some stuff to consider at the very least. In any case, recommendations for manga. My first one's gonna be, let's see, probably Kini-san no Hitori-sama. So what that one is basically about a office lady who is an avid cinephile and her time off when she's, you know, it's a hobby for her. And it's a slice of life. It's also a comedy. It's a lot of fun to look at. And if you are, let's say, in need of movie recommendations, this would be a start. Let's say it depends on how much you've already seen, because this isn't going to be talking about anything unusual to us, but it's geared again towards a Japanese audience. So it's talking about, you know, things that are well known to Hollywood, but that's a foreign market to them. it'd be like a story over here talking about French films. Overall, it's a good comedy. If you want just something to laugh at, this is good. This is good for that.
Otoyo Megadari is a good historic manga with a wide sweeping setting and several main characters in the Victorian aged Asian steppe. It is by far the best thing done by Kaoru Mori to date, and it still has some ways to go before it is done. So you can most likely expect to see new characters in their lives as well. Or if you want something that is already finished, then go look at Emma. Same author and generally same time frame, just focused on Britain.
Honestly, I have to double that recommendation there. Recently, everyone's been talking about Spy X Family. I've never actually read the manga because it didn't really interest me. But I've seen the anime, and the anime was good. We'll talk about that later. But, the thing about Spy X Family, it's amusing, but it's not really, let's say, a story about a family. It's a story about a group who are trying to learn to be a family. There's a manga by the name of My Home Hero. Now, My Home Hero is a very interesting story. It's about a family that actively, it's a real family that actively has to work together to deal with their issues with the Yakuza, and with police looking into a murder that happened by the father of the family because their daughter, she was being kidnapped and about to be killed because she's an heiress to like the mother's family business or something. It's a little bit complicated. It makes sense if you read it. It's really well done. It's actually very impressive as to how they can create tension. It leaves you always guessing as to who's going to be offed. And will they actually get away with what's going on here? Because there's questions between, can they deceive the Yakuza? Can they deceive the police? Who's actually going to be the one going to prison? There's a lot of really cool stuff going on. If you really like serious manga, then this is a good one. This is a very good one.
Shiroku Manifume Kyoku. It is an odd slice of life story about the purgatory-like place some go to after death and how they get along with it. Amnesia is a pretty big part of the setting here. Apparently everyone eventually loses their memories in this place. The author is Afro, same person who did your camp, so it's that kind of story. Good stuff, would recommend again. Check it out, yo.
Voynich Hotel. So this is done by Doman Saman, if you know who that is. So you can expect oddities, because everything he does is odd. It was maybe 80 or so chapters, and then it was done. It's about a ex-Yakuza who has to go to the Southern Islands to escape the gang he was a part of because he embezzled the money. And he's living on, in this hotel. So the island itself has got, this old witchcraft thing happening. And, okay, so it's complicated. There are witches, there are demons, there are Yakuza, there are assassins, there are kids who grew up on the island that are trying to play detective. And overall, it's a really good series. It goes all places. And, there's even a serial killer. I forgot about that. And, it's really good. It's really good. If you like Doman Saman stuff, this is the best he's ever done.
Well, if you're up for the manga, made him no miss. Obviously it is further along in the story than the animations ever got, and it has a lot more to offer than the animations. Extra story left out. The drawings are very unique. The animators cannot show the same level of detail or style that the author can draw in here. Oh, and since it is not on TV, it is more graphic, much more graphic. You can determine if that is a good thing or not. So it is definitely not for everyone, but if you don't mind the extra dose of objectionable content, you will like this.
Candy and Cigarettes. Done by the author of Capellion. So, immediately interesting to me. It is about a special branch of the Japanese government, but it's a secret branch because, they're having to go and assassinate parts of the government that have gotten corrupt. Anyway, it's called Candy and Cigarettes because it's about this old cop who had to retire from his position, but he's got to somehow find a way to pay for his grandson's medical treatments. I think his grandson has cancer or something, so he ends up getting recruited by this organization and is working alongside, out of all things, a elementary schooler who had more or less been brought up as an assassin from youth. So yes, very interesting. More anime-esque, let's say, if you are into the whole JK appeal. This is an elementary schooler, but still, it gives off that kind of Japanimation kind of feeling. It's good though. It's a really good series. Takes place in a lot of places too. Like they jump from Japan, they go to America, they go to Italy. It's fun. If you can find it online, obviously, then give it a read. It's fun.
Okay, next topic. Let's talk about semi-recently aired animations.
I don't know if you'll be watching this or not, but if we have a watcher who sometimes go by the names of Scribbles, then, Mr. Scribbles, I suggest you watch High Guardian Spice. Now, honestly,
Seriously, no name. That is cruel to say.
I mean, it might sound cruel. Okay, I get your point, you got it. But your personality and this show go hand in hand. Think of, was it Steven Universe or Adventure Time? Okay, think of that. Think of making that into an anime. That's what this is. This was specifically made by your darling Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll? Yeah, okay, it's been a long time since I've actually used the site. I think it's called Crunchyroll. The site that you love. They made this. They actually went and made their own anime. That it was this. So you will most definitely like it. I suggest you watch it and tell me your opinions afterward, because I'm sure that you will thank me.
About a year ago, MAPPA aired the adaptation for Heian Seidai no Ii Daitentachi. The production for this was very well done. Good animation, good music, good colors. Honestly, I would say this is way better than the manga ever was. Unfortunately, it has only gotten one season as of now, and it is left on a cliffhanger. But overall, I found it was one of the few shows that had me watching episodes back to back from the excitement. I really enjoyed this one. Also, somewhat objectionable for retards, so watch if you don't get easily offended.
How about that Spy X Family, huh? I mean, when it came down to television series that were worth watching, like, even though I'm not a fan of the manga, that was a good anime. That really was. And I mean, I put that up to Wit. Wit Studio is always very good with their adaptions. I don't find too many things done by Wit that I did not think were well made. They did not let me down with Spy X Family. very well made, good story, exceptional animation. I enjoyed it. I won't say too much about the story because I'm sure everyone has already seen it. If you haven't, just go watch it. You'll enjoy it. Speaking of Wit, Ranking of Kings, also done by Wit, also incredibly well animated, also a very interesting story. I don't know. Once again, I will briefly describe it to you. There's a kingdom, king has died, and it's a succession war of sorts. Very interesting to watch. If you don't even care about fantasy, I'd still say give this a watch. This is very good. Okay, what do you think?
Mappa is doing Chainsaw Man sometime in the near future as well, so look out for that one. Do you have a show to recommend that is on a new season?
Well, let's see.
For return viewers of sorts.
For return viewings, I would say
Overlord has finally started the 4th season, and it is already so good. There are just so many great characters in these stories and so many complications to their interactions. I really wish Madhouse would take the time to animate the show properly instead of the 3D models they use for various things, but that is a small gripe for the overall enjoyment the show can give.
Okay, this is one also for return viewers, or those familiar with the game, because no one else is really going to be interested with this. But, Utewareru Mono, is getting another season. That's about it. I don't have much to say about that one. It's okay. I enjoyed the first series specifically. When they did the second one, it was like the Mask of something or other. That one was not as fun to me because, I mean, I enjoyed the first main character. But these are going off the games, so keep that in mind. It's okay. It's for the returned watchers.
Shikimori-san is one I would recommend if you have read the manga. They do a fairly good job of bringing the important illustrations to life. And of course Hachimitsu is in it. And the ending looks like a fun rhythm game.
Oh, for manga readers. So those who are already invested in, say, the manga of something, then definitely take a look at the anime adaptations for, say, Summertime Rendering. That one is surprisingly good. I was not expecting to be as good as they're handling it. It's a convoluted story, and they're doing okay. They're doing okay, and the animation's pretty good. So, it's much better than I was expecting.
So for some reason Ahara-san was recently given an adaptation, and it follows the manga fairly well. It is a rather strange comedy, so I don't expect it to get too much of a following. Decent animation, though.
Yeah, that one's definitely for the manga readers. I'd also say Machikaro Mazoku. That just got a second season. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't bother looking it up. It's specifically for the people who are watching the first season and for the manga readers, because it's the same story, same kind of goofy comedy. It's fun if you read it. I wouldn't bother if you haven't. There's a lot of anime that has been made that it's made as an advertisement actually for the manga rather than as a animation.
Yeah, very few animations are the original story at this point.
I'm not saying they aren't good, but that's not the purpose. Yeah, I have a few series that were obviously made as an advertisement for the manga that I love, but still, it's obvious as to the difference in quality. So if you aren't already invested, it's not per se made for you to begin with. Okay, so what about some good movies?
Jujutsu Kaisen Zero just came out. Obviously it is following the TV series before it, but it is a good movie on its own. Great animation and great fights. For anyone who liked Naruto or similar battle-type anime, this will be one of the best animations you will have seen in a while.
Okay, so not a battle thing. This is just something that came out and let's say is exceptionally strange. If you're interested in something that's obviously a experimental film of sorts, there's a movie called Dozens of Norths. And it's
Remember, sing a bit of harmony. That was a good laugh. I would throw that in the list for Disney people.
Indeed. So we watched this one together just because, you know, we wanted to have ourselves a good laugh, I guess is the best way to put it. There's a robot that's been made to look like a JK, and they stick it secretly into a school to see how it acts, and it starts singing to everyone. It comes off as exceptionally bizarre. I don't understand what the idea was. I mean, I'm guessing they were trying to do a musical, but I don't know, it comes off as strange.
Belle was another pseudo-musical, I guess, though much better than Sing a Bit of Harmony. I think it is still the most recent film by Studio Cheese and I liked it, though I certainly like Boy and the Beast more. I mean, the main character in that is such a cutie, I love him so much.
That one was okay. Honestly, Girl Who Leapt Through Time is definitely going to still be number one. But that one was okay. It was better than his previous film.
Kimi Mosaic Thank You came out recently, though I don't know why it just happened given the series is long since ended. Same kind of English lolly action, just with a larger budget, so it is a pretty movie for the fans of the show. And now that I am thinking about it, I still need to get a Union Jack shirt like Karen has. She is a lesser-known internet legend compared to Ryoko or Felix, but still a part of my internet experience.
Studio 4 Celsius actually did a movie recently that is probably the closest thing they've ever done to a normal anime. Okay, so those who are unfamiliar with 4 Celsius, everything they do has a very distinct feeling that it was done by them. But this one, you could actually fool me that it was not. This one was called Nikuko-chan. And it's about this lady who has a rather easygoing look on life, who's also has a very large appetite, and she's raising a girl, and it's from the girl's perspective as to how many times they've moved, and now I think they're in Hokkaido, and it's about the town that they're living in up there, and specifically the elementary girl and her growing up in the town. It's surprisingly close to Totoro. I think they're trying to do something kind of like that. Not that it's magical at all, but the way they drew it and the story is very similar to something that I would put as, you know, a Totoro-like movie. It's very good, though. It's honestly probably one of their best films I've seen.
A movie that, as far as I can tell, kind of went by without much announcement or interest was called Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. Now, given the title, I can see why there would be hesitation over giving it a look, but it was actually very good. It was produced by Signal MD, same company that did Napping Princess and Birthday Wonderland.
Another interesting one for you is Ongaku. It's obviously a play on the words music and school, but it's about this group of delinquents that decides to form a band, more or less on a limb. And the drawing and the humor in this is just, it's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. So if you want to see something that's not your typical anime, this is definitely it. It's a pretty fun film. You'll enjoy it.
Princess Principal got a movie recently. Even if you were not a fan of the TV series, I would say take a look at the movie. It has very good animation and political intrigue to keep the viewer interested. I will admit I would have rather seen 3 Hertz put their efforts to something else, but as they are one of the few companies that is actively trying to animate their own stories, I can't really complain. Oh, and Black Fox was okay. The story was not as good as I got hyped for.
Girls in Panzer, Des Finale 3 just came out, let's say, earlier last year. And, oh, was it good? It was so good, but actually I'm more, let's say, looking forward to the next one, because they just got into their battle with my favorite team. I've always loved that Finnish team, ever since they were introduced in the movie. The first, obviously, the first, Das movie. But I'm looking forward to the 4th. So that's what, the 3rd is great. I'm not saying the 3rd's not good at all. In fact, there's a lot of airtime for the Finnish team in this one. So I enjoyed that, but I'm really looking forward to the next.
Well, I think that is enough of us rambling on about different series.
Yeah, we've covered more than enough to get anyone started in their exploration into anime. I mean, half the fun, honestly, is when you discover your own favorite series by yourself rather than having it told to you. So just go out there and find what you like.
Think we will ever get another weeb on here to talk with us?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. No one else that we know or could potentially get on here is even half as interested in Jap culture as we are.
Well, hopefully there will be another time. But if not, it was fun to actually do this, if for no other reason than to let everyone know we actually are otakus, not just claiming it in our videos.
Who knows? There might be another otaku video at some point, but I doubt that many made it through the entirety of even this one. So anyway, this video is now over.
Well, good luck everyone. Try to actually watch some anime. Go explore the net. Sayonara, you lower life forms.
Roll credits.
現代にストーリーシャツなんて必要ないのさ。得るもんは器用な頭と少しの色気さ。借り物のドレスは少し大きいに決ま